A lot of times when I start off my young kids show, um, I'll take out an instrument called an egwe, which is referred to as the original telephone because it basically was used. It's a form of log drum played in different tribes that was used to transmit messages from one village to another. And so I often start my children's show by playing the egwe and explaining to them that it's the original telephone and that before there were wires or video games or telephones, that this was how people communicated, by playing messages in drum language on the egwe from village to village, and that if they wanted to make a long distance call, one village would relay it to the next, and this message would be transmitted over miles and miles. And then I usually, with a younger kids audience in elementary school, I'll usually tap something out and kind of fake my way through a conversation, saying, hey, can you come out and play after school? While tapping the egwe, like I'm making the phone call on the phone. And then the other kid answering back, no, my mom says I got to do my homework first. And then tapping back, well, maybe when you get done, we can play video games. And I tap back on the egwe, what do you mean? They haven't been invented yet. And that usually gets a pretty good laugh out of an elementary school audience. And they're hooked at that point because they relate to what they're seeing experientially, and it fills some kind of gap in their knowledge and their lives. There's something very primally essential about drumming as perhaps our first instrument as human beings, that it's pretty easy with a little bit of practice to get young audiences absorbed into learning about it. It's something that I've heard from teachers countless times at different elementary schools. How did you get them to do that? The teachers are always asking me that. And I'm always saying, I don't think I did it. I think they really want this. They really want to learn about drumming, and they want to learn about other cultures, and they're completely open to it and primed for it. So I think it kind of, to some extent, it just does itself. With older students, say in college, for example, a lot of these people are potentially going on to be musicians in their life if they're not already musicians. And again, it fills in a gap in their knowledge that you don't find in conventional Western musical education. So I tend to load them up with polyrhythm and teach them about the juxtaposition of notes and how to create a matrix of sound that doesn't exist in our musical palette.